What's up everyone, welcome back to our lawn and welcome to my new favorite place at our house, which is this little porch area with our little table out here in the landscaping, which in 2021 was finally completed. So this video is the second episode in the year in review series. First episode was over there in the side yard talking about how difficult I've found reel mowing and the lessons I've learned around that. This is going to be year in review on the front yard and talking about what my experience with Kentucky bluegrass, what you can expect from it, some of the problems typically that we have with Kentucky bluegrass, and what I haven't personally experienced here in my yard. So with that, let's get to looking at it, talking about it, and how you can learn from what I've learned here in my front yard. So I want to start over here on the side where this first landscape bed went in and what we've done now. This used to all be grass. There was an old bed that came to right about like there and wrapped around, but it looked terrible. And so this used to be all grass. Now it's this bed, and what you're seeing in here is a Kentucky bluegrass renovation that has been mowed at 4/10 of an inch basically since it established, and I am very pleased with it so far. It's got holes that it's got to fill in, but it'll do that no problem. And behind me is the pride and joy of the lot, this phased Kentucky bluegrass renovation in the front. So if you have never watched any of my videos, or if you're newer to the channel, this is a 4-phased Kentucky bluegrass renovation. We have phase 1 that I'm standing in, phase 2 past the well, phase 3 over there past the landscaping, and phase 4 down there past the hill, which was this fall, and it's still filling in. And I can say this is the best it's ever looked, and it's what, November 5th. It's unbelievable up here. I mean, you can just see it. Look at how thick it is. Oh. I want to take a moment now to walk over to what was phase 3, because that has been the subject of a couple of videos this year, some of which have done fairly well, which were my belief and my thought process in the fact that I do not believe you should ever have to overseed Kentucky bluegrass from the time the yard is established until forever. So let me flip the camera around, and I have a picture every week from late April through around July when the landscaping went in, and then we'll flip you around and look here, and we'll talk about why I really do practice what I preach and why I believe you never ever need to overseed your Kentucky bluegrass. And so right now I'm standing where all of those pictures were taken. All of those bigger holes, bigger bare spots is right here. This is like the epicenter of that big bare spot, and look at that, nothing, completely filled it. And another little interesting bit, not so long ago, the voles came in here and tore this up, and you can't even really see it anymore. There's one hole here, but even that you can see is already starting to fill in. This was, probably about this big around where they had dug like a little bedding area, and then there were trenches all through here, and it's all filled in. You can kind of see the remnants of one of the trenches right there, right along my shadow, and that's all filled in, all repaired. And bluegrass gets the rap for it needs more water in the summer, it's not as heat tolerant, it's more disease susceptible, all of these things. My experience in comparison to my backyard, which is just cool season everything, my side yard, which is just cool season everything, my brother-in-law's house, which is way different, it's no different in terms of how it performs in comparison to all the other grass types. Plus, it's the really only cool season grass that is going to spread and fill in and solve your problems. And now up here into phase 4, you can see yet again, I will be practicing what I preach. If this was rye, if this was fescue, look down there, all of these areas, I'd be out here with the sprinklers again. I'd be out here seeding again. I'd be out here doing all that process all over. With bluegrass, we're just gonna let this fill back in. And we'll use that section up there, which is the worst section to at this point, as our another benchmark for how long will it take that to fill in. And you can follow along with me with that next year on the channel and see for yourself if you really believe that bluegrass is all it's cracked up to be, or if you want to go with one of the other grass types. I will say, if you have rye, because it's so quick to germinate, I'm not really against that, because instead of waiting for that to fill in maybe July, August, when that'll be completely filled in, you could throw seed down a week later, it's filled in and it looks great. So that has its own benefits. I like the free repair. And so there we go. That's the end of the front yard's year in review. We had all the landscaping done. I got a playlist on my channel if you can follow along with how we did that, how we poured the concrete, did all the landscaping, did all that myself by hand with some help from my family. And basically with every year that passes, with every new renovation, I learn more and more. I continue to appreciate this bluegrass that I have in the front yard more and more. Absolutely love it. Gonna experiment with some different grass types next year, but it's gonna be tough for me, I think, to find a grass type I like more than this Seed Superstore Kentucky Bluegrass mix that I have in the front. So thank you so much for watching, for following along to these types of videos that maybe aren't quite as helpful to you, but more just kind of my vlog and purpose of this channel, which is to follow along, see the progress that I'm making. Subscribe to follow along to what happens with phase 4 in the front, to watch that fill in next year in 2022. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.